like that. How long you been back? I see the girls in the club, they getting wild for me. And all the pretty chicks all wanna smile at me. These rap cats, man, they all got this style for me. And if I ever see them, man, they probably bow to me. And when this beat drop, I know they gon' lean.
Alright, welcome back everybody. It's your girl Bree here. We are starting a baseball podcast. Isn't that crazy? We're starting a baseball podcast. So welcome back, you guys. It's Bree. I've been gone for a while, and I am starting a YouTube podcast, which is crazy to think about, but also it's a great love of mine. Love doing it. Love commentating it. And love talking about my ethics on baseball. So, expect every week to have an updated podcast. Maybe every 2 weeks. We'll see about that. But, guys, we're in the end of spring training. Going on to opening day this Thursday. Which is crazy. Crazy. But I think almost every MLB team is ready, and there's so much MLB news to talk about. But first, this first podcast, I want to talk about the Detroit Tigers. As everybody knows, I'm born and raised here in Detroit, and love the Detroit Tigers. One of my favorites. And there's a lot that happened this off season, and just all around with spring training, off season, and I want to talk about that. That's like, first we ended the year off with the manager named Mr. Ron Gardenhire, and now we have Mr. AJ Hinch, which a lot of people, come up and ask me, hey Bree, what do you think about AJ Hinch? And when I first think about AJ Hinch, I think about the Houston, all the Houston scandal and everything like that. And I don't know, with AJ and watching the games that have been televised and everything, it has been more like AJ Hinch trusts this organization. He's going to build on this organization. And even though that we might not get this roster build or this iconic team or the dream team that we are wanting as young athletes and older people in baseball that have watched baseball, when they won that, won their championships, won their leagues. And with AJ, I think we have a good chance of getting into into a better team, and this is not going to come overnight. And with AJ's played here, he knows people here, he's brought in all new coaches and everything, and you can really see it in the Tigers. We know that there's been lots going on and lots here. Watching the game on this little televised casting right now, they're winning 5-1, but that is just, it's not gonna, it's crazy crazy to think about it. A lot of things is, we have all new people in our rosters, and I want to talk about the 40-man roster. They're already talking about the 40-man roster. To have one person I want to talk about who has been one of my new favorite Tigers is Robbie Grossman. He played, I don't know where he played for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He was drafted in 2008, was overall 170th pick from Cypress, Texas. And what's crazy is he's just such a good, from San Diego, California. And, with Robbie Grossman, do I feel he's a left fielder, really good. You can watch, all his stats. Right now, he's batting a 230 or a 238 average. For most contact hitters and hitters that are not going to hit for home runs, like Robbie Grossman, we are looking at, a really, really good batting average with 3 RBIs, 3 home runs, 10 hits, and 8 runs, and 42 at-bats. With that being said, you're looking at a really good, halfway decent player here. And, his career stats being with Pittsburgh, then Houston, then Cleveland, then Minnesota, then Oakland. Looking at his stats, he could have been batting a little bit better. Coming here, he's batting 238. I mean, his career average is a 266. So, to be very close to that average is phenomenal. And, with Robbie Grossman, I just, not even looking at the stats, you can see that in the news, he's, a solo home run gave up the Tigers 2-1 lead. Robbie Grossman leads off homer, gives Tigers the early lead. Very good, rising star, team prospect, They signed him January 5th of 2021. And I didn't know about it till I started watching it, and I was like, oh my god, this is Robbie Grossman, And with Robbie Grossman being the way this team needs, Christian Stewart, really great guy, really, really great guy, really great kid. They sent him back to the minors, and which is, okay for a left fielder. You have so many other people that are making this roster, and one of them's Robbie Grossman. Another one we can sit here and discuss for hours is Nomar Mazara. And, being from the Dominican Republic, his stats are not the best right now, and they're not going to be, because you're looking at a home run hitter. And so much with Mazara, he's played with Texas almost his whole life, then with the White Sox, now he's here with Detroit. His batting average is a 288. He's batting a 188 right now, so he's over 100 average. But we're looking at his averages that are somewhat in the 375, 321, 300s, 364, and now he's coming back here right now in spring training and batting at 188. You're looking at so much more of a hitter than a home run hitter. If I look at home runs, I can find it. He's got 9 home runs. And he's a contact hitter, and, they finalized him to a 1-year deal, and he, lifts a 2-run home run to left field. Crazy guy, and has, spent a lot of time in, a lot of different places, and he was signed February 12th. Knowing and watching Mazara, great contact hitter, but is it what the Tigers need? Do the Tigers need a right fielder? Yeah, and Mazara's there for it. Do I feel like we can get a better right fielder that maybe can hit some? Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can look at the stats of, you got, for your outfield right now, Akudi Baduti, I don't even know how to say these. You got him, and I think he's new to our system too. Really, really good. Was drafted by Minnesota and played for Minnesota, and now is with us and is batting really good. And you're looking at someone who can be a good outfielder. You got Des Cameron. Des Cameron is like a very big prospect in the Tigers organization. And I'm not saying that, Des Cameron is the best, but he's not the worst. You got Robbie Grossman, who's, hitting it. You got Jacoby Jones, one of my personal favorites. not being able to hit, but also he's not able to hit right now, but playing the outfield the way it's supposed to be played. You got Nomar Mazara and Victor Reyes, and I think that's a very good outfield of what we're looking at. You got Miguel Cabrera, who has now lost a lot of weight and is swinging at good contact pitches. I mean, there's nothing more than you want as someone swinging at good contact pitches, and it's telling the big contract that he has, telling AJ, hey, I want to play first base. Whether or not he's ready for that big step to bring that to majors right now, who knows? I mean, I'm not personally sitting there saying, hey, this is what this is, Jeimer Candelario, I mean, I haven't seen any of his really hitting, so I don't know how good it is. Oh, 341 average, with 0 home runs, 15 hits, 4 runs, and 44 at-bats. That's pretty good. Has spent most of his time with Chicago, and then here, it's crazy. I mean, Jeimer's a good favorite of mine, but go for it. Harold Castro, another good outfielder and, infielder, wherever you need him. It's crazy, because Harold is, all over the place, but also can do a great job anywhere. We got Willie Castro. And man, do I want to talk about Willie Castro. Because, dude, this kid never really thought about Willie Castro being what he wanted to be, but man, he's only 23, being brought up last year, or I think it was 2018 or 19 maybe, that he was brought up, batting a 319 average with 3 home runs, 15 hits, 3 runs, and 47 at-bats. Crazy, and to see what he batted last season and what he's batted this season is crazy. See the home runs, the action, the hitting from him is just so much more better. And he's also told, the Tigers that this is what he wanted, and he wanted to get better, and he did. You got Nico Goodrum, great, I mean, I don't think his, batting average is at where it's at, but 159, but really good guy, really. And then Jonathan Schoop, who we signed another contract with, and then you got Jake Rogers going down in the majors for catching. You got Grayson Grinder and Wilson Ramos here up catching. Grayson Grinder suffered that injury this spring to the face, and that's not an easy pitch that you want to take to the face, but I'm glad he's back out there catching. I haven't seen really too much of Grayson Grinder, and he's batting, right now it says he's batting a 375 average, and then, has been hitting pretty good too. For him being only 28, this is, it's good for him. But we got my favorite new catcher, Mr. Wilson Ramos. I mean, he's not new. He's new to the Tigers organization, but has played with Minnesota, Washington, Tampa Bay, New York Mets. Now is here. I'm glad he's here. I've watched him almost catch every game that they've televised behind the plate, and dude, when I first saw Ramos hit, I was like, oh my god, that's first time I ever saw him. I think he hit into the outfield or hit a homer. Says he's got 1 homer, maybe, I don't know. I mean, he's at 40 at bats, and then has a 275 average. Wilson Ramos is gonna be definitely, like AJ said, your main catcher, and then Grayson. Wilson's got more time than Grayson, a little bit. Now we're gonna talk about a bullpen. I think this is kind of crazy. I mean, you got Tyler Alexander, great pitcher, great relief pitcher. Matthew Boyd. And I hate to say it, but watching Boyd struggle is like so hard. It's so hard to watch as a fan. And why I say it's so hard to watch as a fan is he was doing so good. So good. And last time when it came around July to draft people to other teams or make trades, they should have traded him. And I mean, I'm not regretting decisions, but he is not that pitcher that's, gonna be there forever. And, with that being said, there's so much more to this than what AJ wants, what anybody, Chris Fetcher, whatever they want, Matthew Boyd could be a relief pitcher, to honestly tell you the truth. Then you got Jose Cisnero, great pitcher. Fajedo's down in the minors. Go Fajedo. We share the same birthday. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Buck Farmer and one Michael Fulmer. Who doesn't love some Michael Fulmer? Was injured, has come up and has, made it to spring training this season. You look at, maybe he could have been, a little bit better off around the edges, but maybe something in Michael Fulmer that we can get would be great. Maybe. I don't know. Funkhauser back down in the minors. Ronnie Garcia, Brian Garcia being up. Big Brian Garcia fan. Maybe our next closer, Brian Garcia. Who knows? But one that came to the shocker. Everyone was like, this was news in our Detroit system, which was crazy, and it was Joe Jimenez down to the minors. And they're all like, oh my god, what are we going to do as a closer? Well, that's what we're figuring out. We, in our Detroit system, have never really had a closer. And they just kind of threw Joe Jimenez out there and said, hey, you're going to get the closing start. But never really was Joe a closer. He was more of a relief pitcher than anything. And this came to a shocker, like I said, came to a shocker to everybody. Joe Jimenez down in the minors. AJ Hinch wants him to get better before he brings him up and throws him in as a starting or as a closing pitcher. You also have the competition between Joe Jimenez and Gregory Soto being a catcher. Now, speaking, I'd rather take Gregory Soto over Joe Jimenez. I'm a big Gregory Soto fan. Seen his pitching work and everything. And, with Joe, I hopefully when he goes down to AAA, he gets better and can come up and prove to us what he has underestimated AJ Hinch, or whatever he has underestimated AJ Hinch. And, Matt Manning back down in the minors, he was really good this season. Never one doubt in spring training did I have a doubt that he, was pitching really good. And, Matt Manning's one of our top prospects. And then you have Casey Mize, who's going to be brought up. Yeah, go Casey. Love Casey. Love to see Casey as a starting pitcher. Love to see him, play some time down there. Got Daniel Norris, who's really good. Or somewhat good, hopefully. And then you got Franklin Perez going down in the minors. Tarkle Skubal. A lot of people ask me about Tarkle Skubal, and like, Bree, how do you feel about, all these pictures and all this news and everything that you're trying to process through your head? And I say with Tarkle, he's been having really, really hard time pitching. It's not that the pitches are not inconsistent or they're not where they're supposed to be or whatever. It's just finding how hard it is to go from the minors to the majors. And he's one that's going to surprise us, I think. And, with AJ bringing him up this early, like I said, I think he can surprise us. You got Gregory Soto, who I said think can be a starter. You got this Julio Turhen that they brought up. I thought he's a new pitcher. Came from Atlanta, or he was with Atlanta, came from the Angels. And, you know, isn't that bad? And he's gonna 1-1, you know, we can see what he does. I haven't really seen this guy pitch. I know he's supposed to be, you know, really good, and, you know, we'll see what they bring up. Then you got Spencer Turnbull, who's on the IL, and then Jose and Urena. You know, some of these pictures I've never seen, I'm just like, whoa. So you got non-roster invites was, you know, Riley Green, one that has been hitting some ball down there, you know. Spencer Torkelson, we saw this spring, and played some really, really excellent third base. And I will continue to follow Spencer's story and Spencer, you know, his prospects and everything. That one's just really good. Cody Clemens was another good one. Eric Hayes. Can we talk about that guy right now? He's a catcher for us now. What catcher is like Eric Hayes? And he is, you know, played with Cleveland and now has spent some time with Detroit. And what a great catcher we have in the future of the making. Another one I want to talk about is Dylan Dillinger, because I've followed his story from when he was in college, because he played at Ohio State. Two really, really great catchers that we have in the future making of Tiger baseball. And both really, really good catchers. And you got Derek Holland pitching. Man, Derek Holland. And, you know, transactions. Toledo, they're all going to the Toledo Mudheads. I don't think we have any active. Oh, yeah, everybody I just talked about was active. Let's talk about coaches now, because you got, like, lots of coaches, lots of things to talk about. So, like I said, talk about AJ Hinch. I do not know anything about our hitting coach. The only real one I know about is our pitching coach. Great pitching coach. And I think that that's what's really going to help us is our hitting and our pitching coaches. And there's so much more in this system that I think we can bring out. What is the future for the Tigers? Well, you may all be asking me, like, what is the future? And right now, you know, I mean, they're 12-11. You know, this could be a really great team this season. I think you're going to see a lot of, like, a combination of loses and wins. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot different, really. They're what? 1, 2, 6, 7th in the Grapefruit League for spring training right now. And that, you know, that's really good. And with them, I think this is all just going to take time. And I tell everybody that it's going to take time. Not everything is going to happen right away like every Tigers fan wants. And with that being said, there's not, you know, I still am going to say, the Tigers are the Tigers no matter what. They're still going to pitch. They're still going to go out on that mound and pitch every single ball to whether it's the Yankees or Boston or Toronto or whatever. They're still going to pitch to that team, and they're still going to play, like, a game. One thing I've noticed during spring training is a lot more better communication. A lot more better communication means a lot more better outfield skills, infield skills, a lot more, you know, okay, I know I have this. You can stand behind me and make sure I don't get it. Or if I don't get it, you get it. You know, communication is key throughout this whole baseball thing. And I think that there's so much in this Tiger League that we haven't seen yet from spring training, and so much that they're wanting to bring but are waiting to bring. And man, yeah, I think there's just so much with Tiger baseball. And so it's still the bottom of the sixth in this game, and they're 5-1. So Akioto Bumbo homers to right field, and Isaac Praise scores. Miguel homers to deep right field. Des Cameron and Burgess score. That's good. So they're talking about, I guess Chris Fletcher has tested positive for COVID-19. That's nice, right? This is 2 hours ago. So this one says 2021 is the Tigers' time to turn the corner. You know, like they said, the young pitching talent, very young. It has accumulated over the past 5 years, has either arrived in Detroit or will do so over the course of the season. Their top hitting prospects are still further off, but expect to move up the system while Jeimer Candelario and Will Castro find their place in the heart of the Tigers' order. You know, great. You gotta think about, you know, what we've gone through, or what, I don't want to say what we've gone through, what we've had. We had a very decent outfield. We had Christian Stewart, who was hitting really, really good at the time and was playing really, really, he was either a designated hitter or he's playing that left field and he's making those plays. You had Jacoby in center, who was making wild catches. Batting was not so great, but still putting him out in that outfield was giving him the way to play the game. And then you had Nick Castellanos, who we had for 9 years. And I understand you have to let the player go, and he's now with the Cincinnati Reds, and as he's with the Cincinnati Reds, he's been hitting just like he's been hitting with the Tigers. And that was your outfield. And then you got brought up Travis Demerit, traded Travis, and that was just, now you don't have a right fielder. As you all know, you know, we are looking for the outfield that, whatever reason, we need to. And, you know, our infield being CJ Cron was supposed to play first base. I'm still a big CJ fan. He's gone to the Rockies now. And, you know, now you had Jeimer playing first, who was a third baseman. I mean, I was very surprised about that when I first learned that Jeimer was going to be playing first. I'm like, Jeimer is not a first baseman. And they don't really have a first baseman. We can be honest about that. Don't really have a right fielder. Have plenty of center fielders and left fielders. Plenty of infield of, you know, your second baseman, which is Jonathan Scope or Nico Goodrum or, you know, whatever there. Have Willie Castro at shortstop. You know, Nico at shortstop. There's so many people you could put at shortstop. And then you have third base, which you had Isaiah Praise, you had Jeimer playing that, you have Spencer Torkelson down in Myers playing that, and you know, with this whole thing, I think they're trying to figure out who's going to be better where. And with that being said, there is, you know, so many, you know, things that in the 2021 season we cannot all see. You know, we cannot see that this person's doing great or this is, you know, and you know, okay, so see, your rotation is Boyd, Julio Turhan, which is, I think, a really great pitcher, really great. Skubal, Urena, and Mize. With that being said, Fulmer's out, and the only person that we really know that has been here a while, Boyd. And we might be taking a chance with Mize, a little bit, and, so they locked in all of it. In the first base situation, they cut Ranu Nunez, which is a non-roster invitee who's been playing first base all his years. And they said that he wasn't good enough defensively, just as his average is 28 home runs per 162 games over the last 2 years. So they're referring to that Miguel isn't playing first. He will be playing mostly the designated hitter. The Tigers will return to third baseman Jeimer Candelario, Jonathan Schoop, Nico, or Castro. Nico would be an ideal first baseman. I know he's a utility player, and I know he plays a lot of good second and shortstop. But I watched him play, I think it was a couple days ago, play first base. And that was it was crazy. It's like, wow, is this really Nico playing first? And we're like, yeah, that is. Like, you come to realize, but who knows? With this being said, Mickey is on the urge of being an infielder and wants to be back in the first place. He isn't, it's not something that you can see him doing every day, And there's a lot defensively, and there's a lot we need to, be looking out for and be looking to see with the Detroit Tigers. And I think that leaving here said and, getting ready to end out this podcast, I think that the Tigers are going to have a really, really good season. Really good season. That is, if they work hard, they communicate, they still stay all the same. And, with that being said, I'm going to leave you guys with that. I think Detroit will come back and bounce for whatever long time. Hopefully, we see very good progress from the Detroit Tigers, and we see so much more than what we've been waiting on for many, many years now. And hopefully, we get what we want, and we get what may not be a surprise, what may be a surprise. This might not be the team we all ideally see. If it is, I'm all for it, but, still work to a common goal. Communication's key. Having defense, having infield, having the right pitchers, having the right person behind the plate, having the right person managing. Do we have all those? Maybe. But we will see in the next, April, May, June, July, August, 6 months, 7 months, let's bring it on. Alright, guys, and let's, be positive in these times. COVID, has hit us all pretty hard in the face, but we're all getting through it. So, happy opening week. Don't forget Thursday's opening day. Go out and celebrate. Have fun. I cannot wait for the Detroit Tigers to play whoever they're playing. I'm not 100% sure. I think it's the Indians. Can't wait to see them play here at Comerica Park. Can't wait to see where they go. And we will be back with more next week. With that being said, this is Bree, and peace out.